Hi everyone, welcome to Module 8. This module is about creating a nutrition profile for yourself and for a fictitious client. So again, we're looking at two different lenses. Remember, we're looking at what well-being looks like for you, but we're also looking at through the lens of a professional in this vocation of what it would look like to kind of inspire, teach, educate other people through their own wellness. So what this week is about is really creating a nutrition profile. And I'm saying profile, sometimes I say plan, but I'm saying profile because we're not going to quite yet get into the specific foods. Right now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go through a whole big mathematical problem that leads you through figuring out calories and carbohydrates and fats and proteins and bases them on your own goals. So there, I don't believe in one nutritional answer for everybody. And so you'll see as you go through the content video, but I'm actually going to walk you through the process. So it's really important here, a couple of things. Number one, there are a couple handouts that you need to print and have handy because we're going to actually be doing some math. I'm going to walk you through the handout. So you need to have that handy. So there's a nutrition plan for yourself, and then there's a nutrition plan for your fictitious client. Both of those are really important to have handy. It would also be very helpful to have, I had you write up goals last week about your own health and fitness. It would be helpful to have those available. And I also had you analyze your nutrition log. So it's also very important to have that analysis available because I'm going to ask you at the end to kind of compare the analysis of what you ate with kind of the analysis this week of what you should be eating. So again, after you finish with this introductory video, you need to print up that nutrition plan for self, nutrition plan for client, have your goals and nutrition log available. Then what's going to happen is the content video for this week is very interactive. And you're not going to be able to do the assignments that you need to do without really going through that video and interacting with it. Because I'm going to give you some content, I'm going to explain you some things, but then I'm also going to ask you to create your own nutrition profile based on all the information in the content. Okay, so it's really important that you are ready to go through that. Then once you're done with the content video, it is a little longer, but once you're done with the content video, then you just got a little bit of cleanup and then you're pretty much done with the assignment. So what you're going to be turning in this week is you're going to be turning in, it's okay if you attach, you're going to be turning in the nutrition plan for yourself in that packet, and then the nutrition plan for your fictitious client. And again, I'm going to ask you to create this client, right? Because you can't create a nutrition plan for somebody without really knowing who they are, what they do, what their size is, what their gender is, how big they are, what their activity level is, all of that stuff. So again, I'm going to walk you through that process, but that's all really important to fill out as we go through. So you're going to turn in your nutrition plan for yourself, your nutrition plan for your fictitious client. And again, your client could be, it could be totally made up, or it could be based on somebody you know, right? If you know somebody that really wants to work on their health and wellness, then it could be really based on a specific person. So you'll turn in both of those, and then as every week you're going to turn in the summary of your weekly wellness activities and your behavior change contract, or your behavior change activities. So in other words, every week you need to be engaging in wellness activities, and you need to be engaging in some activity that was kind of targeted at what your behavior change was. And then you just write up a summary. So you're turning in three things: behavior profile for self, behavior profile for client, and then the summary of your weekly wellness and behavior change activities. Now, having said all of that, again, this is all steps in a process. So the steps in the process of the profile to this week, you're just kind of figuring out all the math and figuring out what you need for carbohydrates and proteins and fats, and just kind of writing a little bit of a summary of that, and then also kind of comparing it to what you found out from your nutrition log. And then we're going to build on that. So it's really important that you know, number one, it's a stepping process, because next week we're going to revisit, and then we're going to talk about, so how do you read nutrition labels? How do you find food that actually fits the profile that you made up this week? And then we're also going to go into fitness. So next week, and I am delaying the syllabus a little bit because we needed another week to get through this. Um, so so this week, and yeah, I know a lot of you aren't even paying attention to syllabus, that's okay. We're just going to extend fitness and nutrition one more week, if that makes any sense. So this again is just kind of a stepping stone. I want you to figure out kind of the nutritional aspects of what you need and the nutritional aspects of what somebody else needs based on their goals, based on kind of their whole demographics. And then from that next week, we're going to build on that. So what does that really look like? What, as far as in terms of the actual food you're going to eat, how you read a label, and then we're also going to figure out a fitness plan that is also going to match those goals, right? So that's kind of where we're going with all of this. Again, this is kind of a step, but it's a hugely important step. It's a long, drawn out process. Because again, I don't believe in a one size fits all, probably no pun intended, but a one size fits all nutrition plan or diet. It needs to match you. It needs to match your goals. It needs to match your activity level, who you are, what your size is, what the rest of your life looks like to really be an effective plan. And so what this week is really about walking you through that and making you think critically through all of that. So the content video is extremely important this week. It's important every week, but you can't even begin to get what you need to get done without really interacting with the video, not just watching it quickly or kind of doing it while you're doing something else. This you need to really be focused on the video, because I'm not giving you a reading this week. The video really walks you through exactly what I want you to do. And you may need to stop and pause it. It's a little bit longer. If you have to stop and pause and walk around or anything like that, totally feel free to do that. And again, it's you may need to stop, because like again, I'm asking you to figure out some math, and it's not just the math. I'm trying to describe to you what that math means. So it's important that you not just interact, but you give your self time to kind of really absorb, and you may need to stop, and you may need to kind of work on it a little bit. The other thing that I did that may help is, in the content video, I also go through a PowerPoint, and I'm making that PowerPoint available if you want to go back and just check things in the PowerPoint. But the other thing that you might do is just note in certain parts in the video where I go over certain things, so you can go back and look at that thing right then. I know some students are doing that, and that's been really helpful. So, so have a really good week. Again, you got to have all that stuff available and really absorb yourself in the content video. Once you're done, you're pretty much done. Clean it up a little bit, turn in those exact documents. So again, you can attach a file this week. If I have had a problem with you attaching files, you should have known that by now, and we should have worked that out. So I'm hoping that everybody's attaching a file that we will be able to open and read. So have a good week, and welcome to Module 8. Welcome to the nutrition plan, and really absorb yourself in that content video.